各位傳媒朋友，多謝大家今日嚟呢個記者會。稍後行政長官會先用 PowerPoint 同大家做一個 presentation， 之後會接受大家嘅提問嘅。咁而家如果大家冇問題，我哋先請行政長官。
各位傳媒朋友，各位香港市民，今日我聯同幾位同事呢，再同大家講講我哋喺香港嘅疫情嘅最新情況，亦都係向各位交代我喺2月5日，即係大概10日前公佈喺今次嘅抗疫工作裏邊呢，特區政府會成立一個防疫抗疫嘅基金。我哋經過10日諮詢咗業界，同埋按住香港嘅實際情況呢，已經大致上係敲定咗呢個基金嘅內容，所以今日呢，亦都係率先向公眾嚟到交代嘅。喺個疫情方面啦，確診嘅個案喺過去1個星期係有所上升。大家都知道啦，喺4點半嘅時候，衛生署衛生防護中心已經公布咗最新嘅確診個案呢係56宗，顯示嘅疫情呢係仍然嚴峻嘅，政府係高度關注。不過同呢個禮拜裏邊呢，我哋亦都好高興見到呢係有第一位患者呢係康復出院。咁喺呢度呢，我特別要感謝盡心盡力照顧病人嘅醫護人員啦。希望其他嘅患者呢亦都係早日可以康復出院啦。到目前為止呢，香港並冇出現呢個廣泛嘅社區感染個案，基本上呢係可以追蹤到嗰個感染嘅源頭。其中呢係包括咗喺農曆新年期間有一宗涉及11個個案嘅聚餐活動，但其實仲有另一宗呢，亦都係聚餐嘅活動呢，連埋今日確診嘅新嘅個案呢，嗰個嘅聚餐嘅活動呢，都係涉及6個個案嘅。我哋一直呢都喺呢個工作裏邊係得到專家嘅指導啦，同埋俾我哋好好嘅意見。咁我喺琴日呢，亦都再次同我委任咗嘅專家顧問團，即係分別包括袁國勇教授啦、梁卓偉教授、許樹昌教授同埋 Professor Fukuda。咁我哋嘅專家意見呢，係香港目前嘅情況必須仍然係堅持呢個圍堵嘅策略，目標係切斷喺本地嘅傳染鏈。事實上我哋喺呢個半月以嚟呢，係真係我哋嘅工作全部都係有科學嘅理據啦，亦都係得到專家嘅指導。特別係當我哋喺疫情裏邊出現咗一啲重大嘅事件，咁而家同大家交代喺過去1個禮拜裏邊呢，有2宗大家都關心嘅事件。第一宗呢係世界夢號嘅郵輪，喺2月5日呢隻郵輪呢係抵港，再有1800多名嘅旅客，其中1700多名呢係香港人嚟嘅。另外亦都有1800多名呢係工作嘅人員。咁為咗保障公眾嘅健康，我哋衛生防護中心同埋我哋嘅即係講呢喺早前嘅行程裏邊係發現呢係有幾位確診嘅病人。雖然喺呢一次行程裏邊，呢1800多名嘅旅客呢係冇同確診嘅病人有任何接觸，但係為咗即係審慎起見呢，就我哋覺得亦都係應該進行港口衛生檢疫嘅工作。喺呢段期間呢，船公司係同我哋緊密聯繫，亦都繼續為乘客提供佢哋生活嘅所需。喺聽咗專家意見之後，我哋喺2月8日就係開始為船上1800名船員進行病毒測試，因為呢啲船員呢係曾經係有機會同嗰啲確診嘅病人呢，可能係同期間有一啲接觸嘅。咁經過各個部門努力呢，呢啲病毒嘅測試呢係提早咗喺2月9日就完成，所有樣本呢都係呈陰性嘅反應，所以我哋就係喺當天就100多位嘅居民
，the 100 or so residents living in flat A07. We have made arrangements for them to stay in quarantine centres for the Department of Health as well as experts to carry out investigations. In this block, there are 30 stories or so. At the same time, we have sent cleaners to step up cleansing. The housing department today has completed the cleaning work of various stories. We have also inspected the plumbing. Most of them are in order. A small number of them have had their pipe system alterated. Actions have already been taken. The CHP has also conducted tests of on those people who are in quarantine centers. Another matter of concern is Hong Kong people who are stranded outside Hong Kong. That includes those who are still in Wuhan and passengers on board of Diamond Princess. We have received a call for assistance of 1,100, including 1,200 Hong Kong people in over 30 cities in Hubei province. About 10 Hong Kongers have contracted the illness and they are being treated. In relation to the cruise ship, there are 330 Hong Kong people, 200 or so of them have Hong Kong passports. 11 of them are confirmed cases. They are receiving treatment in the hospitals. Hong Kong ETO, that is the Tokyo ETO, as well as the Wuhan office, together with Immigration Department, provide all the assistance required. Once we have formulated plans in relation to logistics, transport as well as healthcare, we will arrange for them to come back to Hong Kong as soon as possible. Now I move on to another matter. Today is the 7th day when we have put in place the mandatory quarantine order. It started on the 8th of February. From that day onwards, all those people who have arrived from the mainland, including visitors as well as Hong Kong people, will have to go through a mandatory quarantine period of 14 days. In general, it has been implemented smoothly. The purpose of this policy is to greatly reduce the number of people crossing the border in order to control the contagion. Most of the people who cross the border are Hong Kong people. In the past few days, there has been a sharp drop of people crossing the border. It has been reduced by 80%. That also applies to those people who use the Hong Kong airport to enter Hong Kong. In relation to the two land boundary control points, well, there are about 1,000 people using the Hong Kong-Macau Bridge Hong Kong border control points. A lot of them come from Macau and the mainland for the Shenzhen Bay. All of the passenger flow came from the mainland, but they only account for about several hundred. We have issued about 5,326 quarantine orders. 90% of them are Hong Kong people, and they stay at their own home for quarantine. We make use of real-time location sharing, the smart wrist, spot check, in order to make sure that these people stay at home. There are a few cases of contraventions. The Department of Health as well as the Department of Justice are working on the possible prosecution. There is another matter that is in relation to supply of personal protective equipment, including masks. I'd like to say that there is a global shortage. In a number of places, we have seen people scrambling for masks. We have adopted a multi-pronged approach. We have stepped up on global procurement. What we do now is direct procurement, not by use of the lowest bidder wins. We use the speediest way to procure what we need. I ask the CS4A to be in charge of that. Under his leadership, Policy Bureau as well as departments have taken measures to compress use. It has been compressed to about 8 million every month. Most of the use are related to emergency use and those in relation to fighting the infection. A lot of them have been used by the Department of Health. There are also a number of departments that need to use masks, but they have something to do with infection control. Given the shortage, we identified priority for the use of masks of two groups of people, namely outsourced cleaning workers, as well as all the residential care homes for elderly people, as well as those for people with disability. That includes those in the public and the private sector. We must ensure that there is an adequate supply for these two groups of users. Every month for cleaners, every month they use about 700,000. For different homes, every month they will use about 1 million. In order to ensure that we have the ability to fight the contagion, as well as to ensure that we can continue with public service, we have stock to meet 2 months' use. That includes use from cleaners as well as from homes. We understand that there is a shortage in the retail market. A lot of people have to scramble for masks. Recently, we have received about 1.6 million masks in different batches given to the government. They will be donated to various groups, mainly the underprivileged. We will ask non-government organizations to distribute them for us. We hope that given the shortage in resources, we will all work together to fight against the contagion.
We've been preparing for this Contagion Control and Prevention Fund with two objectives. One is to step up or bring the whole city together for fighting this epidemic. We have facing a critical picture. We still need to take the containment strategy to cut off this transmission chain. For each Hong Kong citizen, we need to heighten their awareness and maintain their personal hygiene and environmental hygiene, which will play a big role in fighting this contagion. That's why we need to allocate extra resources. For this, contagion control and prevention can provide instant assistance and also support the depressed sectors and employees. We will do our best to prevent a large-scale laid-up and bankruptcies. When you go with the details, let me reiterate that some of these more macro spectrum and relief measures will not be stated here. That will fall under the 26th of February budget unveiled by the Financial Secretary, which include the review of the 4 round of relief measures that have been launched earlier, whether they need to be extended or stepped up. Well, the 4 round of relief measures will involve about $25 billion. The first thing to do is step up the anti-epidemic efforts. The following measures. The first, to ensure the supply of faces and other personal protective equipment. The first, the government will spend money on global procurement. And some of the business sector hope that Hong Kong could manufacturing locally. The government is very supportive of this, and in the past period have been in touch with them and providing the support they need. Today we take a new step. We actually would pay them to subsidize them to set up the local production lines for face masks. So that's for the private enterprises. In the past, the government rarely ventured into this. So we're actually financing these local companies to set up the manufacturing production lines locally. First is to subsidize the research and the manufacturing of reusable face masks. We hope that every citizen can provide a durable and reusable face mask, surgical mask. On the other hand, we'll continue our anti-epidemic efforts can carry on a sustainable pace. And a lot of areas we have people joining the front lines, we need to provide adequate resources for them. First will be the hospital authority. We will disperse extra $4.7 billion to the hospital authority. If you're interested in the details, Professor Sophia Chen will give you the details. And the Department of Health don't need to do through this fund because it's a government department. In this financial year, at the next year's budget, will provide enough budget for them to cope with the the extra expenses, and also step up the electronic surveillance of home quarantine with the wristbands and all kind of electronic devices. 6, enhance the efficiency for smartphones to disseminate emergency messages, which we found it to be very effective that they're issuing messages to the smartphone users to know that which border crossing have been closed and what happened where. Currently, the efficiency had room for improvement, and we need to spend resources so that to enhance the efficiency. 7, well, for the construction industry, we'll resume work very soon. So we need to step up provide more professional equipment and provide one-off funding. And for the 0.24 million workers, provide a one-off subsidy to purchase the protective equipment. 6, on property management. To maintain environmental hygiene, the property management company had a key role to play. The Hong Kong government will make use of this fund to provide that all the public and private property of a one-off $26,000 and the epidemic allowance, including during the epidemic to provide an $1,000 extra allowance for each cleanser and security employed. And the same $1,000 extra allowance also applies to the cleansing worker under government contract and also security guards. And during the epidemic, we'll provide extra funding for the contractors so that they can provide the cleansing and the security guards for this extra $1,000 allowance. So to make use of the soon-to-be occupied public housing units for quarantine facilities, even though we couldn't use the first one as destroyed by the rioters. However, we need, for those families have been allocated a unit in these 2 estates into Chunyang Estate in Foshan and Faiming Estate in Fanling, would issue a one-off $6,000 special allowance to support the depressed sectors and the employees. Well, a lot of sectors have been affected. Well, however, those brought to brunt will be the travel industry and the food and beverage industry and retail industry. Thus, for the license agency, will release a one-off $80,000 subsidy, and for the licensed restaurant and those holding the general restaurant license and those factory canteen license, they'll receive a $200,000 allowance, and the snack restaurant and food manufacturers and fabrication shops and the siumei and shop will give it an $80,000 allowance, and will receive a one-off $80,000 allowance to the retail industry. This they're not a license holder. Of course, they hold a business registration. However, they're not a license. However, we need to spend some time to ascertain the scope of the beneficiaries. And for the licensed hawkers, we receive a one-off $5,000 allowance. And some of the sectors have also been hard hit. And more critically, these sectors, well, they will lead to layoffs if they lost their momentum. Well, they will not be able to recover along the economy. So we need to provide them instant relief to prop them up for the time being. I hope that by the time the epidemic fades, that this industry continue to thrive, to include the convention and meeting industry, the cultural sectors, in performing troops, and also in IT sector, especially the tenants in the science park and the cyber park. If they don't have any business and no prospect and couldn't afford the rent, they'll be full very easily. And now we need to maintain social distancing. A lot of the retraining work has ceased. So for the agency working with the employee retraining board, we will provide a subsidy. And some other sectors have also been mentioned. For example, the child care centers and the kindergarten, especially the fee-paying ones, that besides receive government subsidy, they also charge fees. Well, for quite some time, this class have been suspended and able to get the tuition fees. And for the self-financing and the aided child care center receive subsidy. And the EDB will provide the kindergartens and provide a one-off subsidy. Well, water for those aided or income is however, the EDB do not need to pay from the fund because they can meet through their own funding. Since the class have been suspended, and student we need to learn at home, and sometimes the student we need some extra expenses, for example, like on online learning. So for the 2019-20 student learning grant, we will have this extra $1,000 for each student. And since the grant will be released soon, well, for the $2,500 will increase to $3,500. Until about 200,000 low-income households will provide a one-off special allowance with about an average of $5,000 per household. We will not mean testing whether they are employed or semi-employed or unemployed. That all these low-income households will provide them $5,000 each on average. The Secretary for Labor Welfare can elaborate on the bit of details. The next step, since it's an urgent and necessary, would the beneficiaries hope to obtain the funding very soon. So we must seize the time and go on full speed. The ASEAN government will apply this one-off funding proposal through the Finance Committee of the Legislature with no less than $25 billion, which include 21 projects and some kind of contingency funding. Hope that this funding approval from FC can be given as soon as possible. Contingency funding depends on how the epidemic unfolds. We will be able to cope with rapidly. We understand that a lot of legislative members have much criticism or inquiries on the government's work on funding this epidemic and hope to raise questions. Note that the legislative president have decided that on next Wednesday, on 19th of February, they will not hold a regular council meeting. Instead, they will have this one special meeting to let members to raise questions on the epidemic. The CSFA would attend along with other secretaries to respond to the members' questions. Since it's very urgent, and today we have a public health emergency, and for the 21 measures have outlined, we have a large number of beneficiaries. Thus, we have written to the municipal chair of the president of the chairman of the finance secretary. They hope to hold a special meeting next week. I believe that it should be after 19th of February. Well, after this debate on the 19th of February, and allow the members to grasp the latest progress, then we can discuss this funding request at the finance committee. And here I urge the legislative members to support this funding proposal and their implementation. We need to seize the time to go on a full throttle. So in coming with the 21 measures, we'd also take into account the implementation that we hope to be as simple as possible, and so as to rapidly disperse this funding to the beneficiaries. Like I said, when it comes to the retail sector, it's not a licensed regime in place, thus it will take more steps. If the licensed restaurants or agency, so things are much more simple. So we'll try to implement it as soon as possible. This ends my presentation. We're now open the floor to questions. And secretaries, we're happy to take your questions.
Now it's question time. Please put up your hand.